Hey guys, this is Cole, and I'm happy to say that this is going to be the first video on my brand new YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to teach about the 3 different ways to germinate a bean. And so you're probably wondering, what is germination, like when you're germinating a bean? And germination is known as the development of a plant from a seed after its period of dormancy. And that period of dormancy is usually after it is originally grown. Many beans or seeds don't usually get replanted right away. Most of the time, they are either packaged to be shipped away for people to eat, and after that, that's its period of dormancy. So for it to be rewoken up and for it to have the ability to be planted and regrown, it needs to go through its series of growth phases known as germination. So in class, I was lucky enough to have gotten 3 seeds to try and germinate and to try and grow to 20 centimeter tall plants. And so today I'm going to talk to you about the 3 different types of germinations that I tried, and I'm going to show them to you from what I've figured out to be the least effective to the most effective. And so the type of germination that I have found to be the least effective is the germination through mud. And in this form of germination, what you have to do is you can take like a plastic cup like this, and you do not want to poke a hole yet. When you poke a hole, you're letting the moisture seep out, and then the plant or the seed's not going to get as much moisture as it would have if you would keep it closed and not poke a hole. And within this, what you need to do is you would fill the cup with as much soil as you want. And from there, you would equal that amount of soil with that amount of water. And you would mix those two together until you got the consistency of mud. And from there, you would plant your seed around an inch deep, just like you normally would. And you would let it soak like that until you start to see the seedling pop out. And with this method, you can just let it sit in here because once the water is mostly seeped into the seed, it will germinate and then it will grow. And so you don't have to transfer it. All you would need to do is you would need to poke the hole and water it routinely. But with this method, I found that I was not able to get a seedling to pop out. And this is mostly due to probably the overwatering of the seed. And when you overwater it, the seed does not get wrinkly, and when it doesn't get wrinkly, it's not able to shed its skin. And when it can't shed its skin, then the seedling will not grow properly, and you won't be able to actually get your plant to grow from the bean. So after figuring out that the mud mixture is not exactly the best application for germinating a bean, I decided to use a new form of germination. In this form of germination, I took just another normal plastic cup, but in this one I did not poke the hole in the bottom as well, because if I were to poke the bottom, then the water would just seep out. And within this method, I filled a cup 2 centimeters tall with water. And by doing so, I had enough water to immerse the bean and to fully soak it to where it was beneath the layer of water. And within this form of germination, what happened was that I was able to get these beans to wrinkle very well. They even started to shed, and in some of them, I saw root growth. And from root growth, I immediately planted those, and I got them soaking in soil, and I watered them routinely. But within this, I found that my plants were not growing as tall. I was starting to see some green coming out of the soil, but it wasn't exactly working as planned. They were very small, and what I was able to get out of the soil ended up dying for some reason, and that was I didn't understand that totally. So this worked somewhat because I was able to get it to wrinkle, and I was able to get the water to soak into the bean and for it to germinate. But this might have had an application error on my fault when I was planting it because I might have done something incorrectly, and the bean was not able to totally pop out of the soil and get me the desired results that I wanted. Luckily, while all else failed, I had this form of germination in my back pocket. In this form of germination, I had a Ziploc bag, and within this Ziploc bag, I had a damp paper towel. And this damp paper towel means that it was soaked very heavily with water, and I wringed it out just slightly, enough to where when I folded the bean up into the paper towel and I was able to put it into the Ziploc bag to close it and keep the moisture sealed, the bean would get enough water, but it wouldn't overwater. And once I folded the bean and packed it into the Ziploc bag with a damp paper towel, I taped it onto a window, which is an elementary school based way for little kids to germinate beans, but it's a very effective way to do so. And within this method, I let this bean germinate in a bag with the paper towel for an amount of time that is pretty crazy. I let my bean sit in its bag for 6 days. I started it on a Saturday and I checked on the bean daily, and I found that by the time it came to Friday, the roots had immensely grown. They had grown to around the longest roots to around 3 centimeters each. And from there, I knew right then that I needed to transfer those beans, which had a little bit of green poking out, referencing that is ready to pop out of the soil. So what I did was I planted those immediately, and within the next day or so even, the seedlings were able to pop out, and from there they've been growing ever since. So the best form of germination that I have found is that using a Ziploc bag with a damp paper towel will get you the best results. But if you do not have those supplies around, the second best would be to use a cup and to fill it to where it covers the bean. And if you have neither of those, to create a mud sample in which your bean would be able to germinate and grow within the same cup. Thanks so much for watching my video on 3 ways to germinate a bean. If you would like, you can always go find my Instagram called super.cool.cran on Instagram, in which you can see how I've depicted the life and growth of my cranberry bean. Thank you guys so much for watching.